Hello. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Thank you for joining me. For streaming and things, hopefully everything's working, because for most of today it hasn't been. But it should all be in nice working order now, apart from Marty, of course. As is tradition, has stepped off his platform. He's got a lovely, dedicated little bed now. But that's not going to stop him moving about constantly. Because, hey, cats are cats, right? And unfortunately, I'll never be able to change to the point where I don't have to go to that screen of darkness to be able to change things. There we go. There he is. He's not facing you. I need multiple Marty cams, don't I? I need them everywhere to make sure he's on there all the time. And I'm in the way of the chat. I might be a bit bigger than I used to be. Is my big head getting in the way of all of the chat and stuff? Hi, everyone, though. We're tweaking things. Things all got... I know it might not look very different, like camera and table-wise, but yeah, this room's all taken apart and changed around. And computers, for some reason, don't like it when you unplug things and plug the exact same things back in about 12 hours later. But yes, hi everyone. It's looking good, thank you. Hi Steve, hi Matt. Hi Sir Liam. Hi Tobias. Hi, I know I've missed out, by the way, as well. It doesn't all come up on the screen when I click the Start It button. And I hope if anyone is out there watching on Twitch, let me know. I hope it's all working, because it's been a bit temperamental since I changed something. But yes, we are not here for technical mayhem. We're here for some Libertalia. Well, not a new game. A game about 10 years old, right? The original's 2012 by Paolo Mori, who has designed many things, but I think we know him best as when you suddenly say something and you realise he might not have designed that, but I'm pretty sure he designed Augustus, right? Or Rise of Augustus, as it's sometimes known. Or, in the Eternal playthrough queue, as it later got known, Via Magica. One of Rach's favourite games of all time. It's kind of Euro bingo. Oh, it isn't scrolling down. That's why I can't see the chat. When new things get said, the chat on my screen isn't scrolling down. It's all looking good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Hopefully it looks a little bit better. But yes, this is a game from 2012. It was fairly popular, I think. It's we used to go to a game group, and it was fairly popular there. We played it once in its multiplayer form. It's not our thing. Although it has been, its meanness has been toned down if you want it to be. There is a calm and a stormy side of the board. The stormy side has more complex things, but also more take-thatty things, more interactive things. So you can have it how you want it. But also, it's got a two-player mode that it never used to have. It's got a solo mode that it never used to have. And amongst other things, like the last page of the rulebook lists all of these things that they've added. There's 40 cards for everyone instead of 30 now. They've worked together to revamp the whole thing, tweaking all little bits of it, revamping all of the art that apparently, I don't know how, but this art is controversial to some people rating it on Board Game Geek. It looks beautiful. I think if you really want it piratey and kind of as you would expect pirates to look, definitely original Libertalia goes for that. But this is going for a bit of a fantastical animal pirate theme that I'm on board for. Hey, yeah. Unintentional pirate puns will be here throughout, I'm sure. Hi, Ben. How's it going? Yes, I am hopefully going to do you proud in some piracy. So yes, these are, by the way, as well. If you didn't see their one appearance before now, these are Marty Poker Chips. They are hopefully going to take the place of money from now on. I should say this in the actual playthrough as well, but Libertalia, of course, does come with cardboard money, lovely cardboard money, in a plastic treasure chest, and I think you can get metal coins on their website as an add-on, because it'll be available soon. But yes, turn your phone off when you're streaming. But yeah, Rach and I have made some custom Marty chips that we'll be using for stuff. Hi Claire, thank you for the super chat. Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you like the playthroughs. I love playthroughs. It's how before I was maybe making so many, it's how I learned every game. And before things came early. But yes, I am playing. Thank you for the Patreon bots, by the way. And thank you, Patreon bot, for your diligence. But yes, this is a final version of the game. It's a slightly early copy. Like, I think pre-orders are going to be starting quite soon. And then it's out in April, I believe, is when it's delivering. Is it late March, April? It's going to be delivering. Yes, this is, though, as far as I know, this is just a production copy. What you see is what you get, and hopefully all of the settings are going to show it off very nicely. But yeah, it'll be very different. Hey, Heroic Logic, is everything working on Twitch okay? Hopefully it's clicking again. But yeah, it's very different. I should have readied pictures of old Libertalia, but we're not here for old Libertalia. Yes, it's fantastical animal folk pirates this time. So the core of the game is the same, of course, for the solo mode. But it's a game of hand management. There can be bluffing, but there doesn't have to be. It's all about, we have crews here. Like, this isn't my necessary hand. I was laying these out to see how many cards I could fit on screen. Everyone has the same deck of 40 cards. And we are going to get a set of these every round. Everyone will have the same hand of cards. And we will decide one by one which one to play. They all have their own abilities. Their abilities that go off in the day will go off from lowest number to highest. But there will be loot available more and more as the game goes on. And your choice of which loot you can have is based on highest to lowest. So, there's hopefully going to be something for everyone in terms of which numbers you want to play. And the loot all have various abilities, some good, some bad. That shot doesn't actually show all of them, does it? So that needs tweaking a little bit. Oh, the darkness underneath the camera angle. We need to include the relic, don't we? There we go. We're going to have to zoom out a little bit, but we can't chop that relic off. So some, good. Just going to earn you things, earn your money, earn your reputation, earn you things for collecting sets of other things. Some things just going to lose your money. And you, of course, don't want them. But will you get the choice? In the solo game, you can see that, so on the board, there are loot things printed, and you can change them every game. There are calm sides to things. There are stormy sides that will be more complex, maybe a little bit more interactive in some of the things. But some of these are specific to the Automa mode. They have been tweaked and balanced to fit in with this specifically. And so, yeah, we play with those. We play with this particular setup, although it can be, juggled around as you see fit. The Automa has priorities over what it thinks are good, average, and bad, and we'll be making decisions based on that. There is also, we will see the appearance of the Pilferer, who is kind of another, well, not really an Automa. We won't give it as high status as an Automa. Something there to get in the way. So there's going to be more cards out there. There's going to be 3 cards out there every round. So it's not just, one of you gets the best ability, one of you gets the best loot. But yeah, we'll see how that all works. I should have kind of done that. I thought I should probably say, I don't say who I am in the playthroughs anymore if anyone watches these later. And yeah, I should have a bit where I can point to as the start of the playthrough. Hi, Genway. Hi, Tim. Twitch is working brilliant. Thank you. I'm glad. I don't really know. I think I was, strangely, Twitch, even though video gamers stream, I imagine, more visually complex things, Twitch has a pretty low limit as to what you're allowed to stream on it. And I was streaming in too high quality, and it wasn't having it. It just cuts your stream off if you do that. Hey, but we learn things about streams all the time, don't we? It is pre-ordering very soon. I'll get up, actually. I should have all this information ready. I'll say for my... well, this is just preamble. We're starting very, very soon. Got the pirate puns. The pirate puns are hopefully, even if I'm missing them, they're coming up on screen, right? Where do they buy their hooks? The second-hand store. Where is the email with the actual dates in it? Yes, don't show the game before Saturday. I didn't. There we go. I remembered. You can say opinions, So this is when more reviews and things will start to go up. So I know that some playthroughs went up on Saturday, right? And I think review kind of videos will go up today. Pre-order starts March 2nd. It will come to retail in late April. Like, I think if you pre-order from Stonemaier, then they come pretty quickly, right? And it depends if you're a Stonemaier champion and all of that stuff. But yeah, the main thing that I will remember to say, the pre-order starts on March 2nd, and it will come to shops as usual in late April. So very, very soon, a couple of weeks. Oh, Steve's already got the information while I'm meandering through the corridors of my emails. Steve's already there with the info. Right. So I'll say that this is the start of the playthrough, right? And yeah, nothing will go wrong, and I won't go off track with anything as soon as I say that. But welcome in everyone that's come since I've been rambling about things. And oh yeah, I can say all the other stuff in a minute. Right. Hi everyone, I'm Tom, and today I'm going to be playing. Oh, this is weird. I've been chatting, I've been live streaming. How to ruin an intro. Today I'm going to be playing Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, the new reimagined, revamped version of Libertalia from Stonemaier Games, designed by Paolo Mori as the original, and we're going to be taking on the Automa in some solo action, and we are hopefully going to beat the Automa. There are difficulty levels that you can play. I am just playing on normal difficulty. The advantage and disadvantage basically is, if you want to go on easier, you start with some extra money. If you want to go on harder, Automa starts with extra money. So it's for normal difficulty, neck and neck to start with. So hopefully we're going to do things okay. So right at the start, I don't need my example hand for setting up the shots properly. All we need are our treasure chests that are set to 0 at the moment. You randomly determine your reputation. So they go in the 3rd and 4th spots as they would in a 2-player game. So the Automa is purple, by the way, which I'm jealous of. I was going to be purple, but I am going to be white instead. You play with all the reputation counters, no matter how many actual players are playing. And reputation is going to determine tie-breaking in some instances, and it might earn or lose you money in other cases. So we'll see how we get on. There is a particular setup of the loot tokens, of what they stand for. The game comes with a load of absolutely lovely clacky tiles for you to use as loot tokens. They mean different things depending on the game you play, and you can play with a calm side, you can play with a stormy side where the abilities are a bit more complex, maybe a bit more in your face. But there is a particular setup for the Automa game, and there are some specific loot tokens for that as well. I think that might be all the preamble we need. The pilfer is involved as well, but we'll see all of that as we go on. Before I get to playing, I should remember to say that all of this is possible. All of this video stuff, all this equipment everywhere is only possible thanks to the patrons. Patreon.com/slickerdrips if you would like to support the channel. I see that the Patreon robot is already there above me in the chat. Thank you, Matt. Yes, your support there will be massively appreciated. Every little helps. And yeah, it helps keep this going, and maybe do it more and more often as time goes on. But yes, there are, that number's wrong. There are 171 patrons now, because Trevor, thank you, Trevor. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Esther, for joining up since the last stream. Trevor joined up just as I was setting up this. And yes, so it's 171 now. We are very close to 200. Please like the video and follow and stuff. And if you can and want to support, if both of those things are true, if just one of them isn't true, don't worry about it. The video's here, right? But if both of them are true, then you can. At patreon.com/slickerdrips. So, with that said, before the voyage, the first thing we need to do is populate the loot tokens. And I think... Can you hear that? I think my noise cancellation might get rid of the... There you go. If I put it right next to the camera, you might be able to hear the lovely clacking of the tiles. There is usually 1 per player, but in a 2-player game, which this kind of is, there are 3 tokens out there. And if it was a 3-player game, there's 3 tokens out there as well. So we bring these tokens out. They stand for these things, but we'll see all of that as we go on. So when Streamlabs is on this nice big monitor, so I can actually see the chat without having to squint too much, it doesn't scroll the chat for me. So I have to keep saying that. Oh, there's been messages. Let's scroll down and see all of that. You can see as well, if I zoom in just a touch, you can see at the bottom here, it tells you which days to populate with loot. So we are going to be playing through 3 voyages, basically. The first voyage will have 4 days, the second voyage will have 5, and the third voyage will have all 6 days. And their number of cards that we will play, number of chances to do things out there. And so that's what we've got. We can have a look at the abilities more in a bit. We can talk about how the Automa prioritizes things as we go on. We populate the loot tokens, and then we gain the same 6 character cards. So my character cards, just off screen here, are in numerical order. And in the multiplayer game, it's one person shuffles them up and gets a random selection, and then everyone else chooses those cards. So for this, Automa has a shuffled deck of cards, and they have, I think, similarly numbered. They might be missing one of the numbers, I think. I think number 37 isn't in the solo game. 4, 5, 6 cards. But their effects are a little bit different. They have their own special deck. So we can see every Automa card has an Automa side, purple, where you can see all of the text and everything properly, and a Pilferer side that is just orange and it's just the number. So we lay them out in the Automa configuration, and we want to fan them so we can just see the numbers, because for now, and the rulebook says, don't worry too much about what every little card does for now. See them as they happen, and worry about them when you actually see the abilities in front of you. So that's what we're going to be doing. I won't stop off to say what every little card does. We'll just see those as we start, and hopefully the text and everything will show up all quite nice. So I need to find those cards out in my deck as well. And I can show off another innovation that only works if I remember to press all of the things. See that whenever you see Sheriff Marty up in the corner there, it means I'm going off topic. I'm going on a tangent. And if you are here just purely for the gameplay, and you don't want no tangents, you can just skip until the watchful eye of Sheriff Marty's gone. But hey, Dice Hand, how the video setting is done? Do you mean just how like the equipment is, or like settings for like bit rates and stuff? If you mean like the videos themselves, they're camcorders that I've, well, 2 of them were camcorders I've always had. Well, since I've been doing this, I wasn't given to them when I was born. But yes, I have camcorders that I use to film things, onto SD cards, edit them and all of that. They are linked, because they've got HDMI outputs, they are linked to Elgato cam links, so they show up on your computer as webcams. So you are seeing, the computer thinks this is just a really fancy webcam. It's got a C-stand and then a boom arm, so it's right over the table. And then I've got bright lights. They're just cheap LED lights that you can see on Amazon. They weren't a particular brand. They're, a brand that you've never heard of. There is a little change. There is a webcam looking at me right now rather than a big camera, because it took up less space. Hopefully it's looking all right. What else is there? Oh yes, this is, I would always recommend as well, like you can see, I did an AMA on Patreon last week actually. Not on Patreon, on Reddit. You can check out my AMA on Reddit, and someone asked me about all of my specific equipment and stuff. I listed all of the stuff there, but I will say, as I said there as well, please don't buy any expensive things because I use them, because it's in some ways not necessary. You might have things that are good enough or even better already. Like all my first videos were done on my phone, and yeah, I would say things changed since then, but phones have gotten a lot better. But yeah, there's a load of stuff going on. What's going on, mate? What have I missed? A sonnet on the bonnet. Can you hear the tokens? Great. I don't think we're going to aircon, unfortunately, which I am gutted about, because I've still never gone. But things always seem to come up at the last minute. Not as extreme as what was coming up to stop us going to the 2021. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think so. Have you been knocked off your pedestal, Hans? Have you... Oh, do you mean up in the corner here? Yeah, I think Trevor just came in. Just before the playthrough. Hi, Tom. It seems so weird. Am I a bit washed out? I can... I did have a little setting, actually. Don't worry, don't have to worry too much. The Tangent Marty's up there. What if... Was that on? No, that's even more washed out. Do you mean me, like my camera is? Or like the table itself? I might have to tweak things on my camera a little bit. Because, yeah, it's not great. It's disappointing webcam, to be honest. I never used it. As soon as these started working, I never had to use it. But the same one is on Marty, and it does a fairly good job of Marty, I think. I don't know if it'll show up properly. There you go. You can see his... It's a little bit snowy, but there you go. You can see he's breathing in action. It should be Pirate Marty. I think eventually we will have all of these different Martys. It's yeah, I've got very bright lights on me, but I think like if you just turn those things off, it's very dim. Like it's got things to kind of boost the colours a little bit. Does that look better? I wonder if the thing I had isn't making it look any better. Maybe that looks better. Just it without any tweaking. But there we go. Hopefully. Yeah, check out... It should be findable on Reddit. I tweeted about it. Yeah, check out my AMA, and I listed the exact things. But, yeah, please don't buy those exact things. Unless you know that you need them, particularly. But yes. Hey, there wasn't a big gap there. Right. So, I have found those cards out. And we can have a little look at my hand. Oh, this is a kind of a tangent, but maybe not. What do you reckon looks better? Would you rather look at the cards like this, or does that look better? It's not exactly kind of looking down on them. It's not exactly a head-on camera, but if that looks a little bit clearer, we could go with that one for me. It's only looking at my cards, unfortunately. But yeah, if the secondary camera is working a little bit better, we'll go with that. Is it looking a bit better? Yeah, as long as the game and the board looks good, we'll go with that. So my hand of cards, we've got some of the lowest and some of the highest numbers about. Low numbers are great because if you've got a daytime ability, these suns here, then the lowest number, they will go off in numerical order. So yours will go off first, which might be very important depending on the ability that's happening. In terms of getting the loot, they happen at dusk. So there might be some special abilities that reference dusk. There aren't actually in the hands that we've got right now. But we'll get loot in the dusk phase, and they go in the opposite way. So highest number gets first choice of loot, which might be very important because there might be loot out there that loses you money, and money is basically points. So we've got some of that. The anchor abilities will happen at the end of the voyage. So, you know, there are a certain number of days in our voyage. We will, if people haven't been removed through certain effects, they will stay on our ship, and everyone on our ship with those anchor abilities will go off at the end of the voyage. So, for example, that carpenter, the round that he comes out, lose half of your doubloons rounded down. Could be terrible unless you've lost things throughout. But if he's still there on your boat at the end of the voyage, you gain 10. So I could put him straight out based on my reputation over on the board there. So I've got the higher reputation. I will break ties in my favour. But I only got 9 doubloons to start the round with. Automa, behind me, but got 10 doubloons to start with. So if I lose half my doubloons, I would lose 4 rounded down. And then I would gain 10 at the end of the round. So could be one to put out first. But you never know if there might be a card or something that makes me lose a character by the end of the voyage. What else do we have? So we've got night abilities. So it goes daytime abilities, dusk, any abilities, and the loot tokens, and then nighttime here if they're on the ship. So you can copy other nighttime abilities. That's not great, actually, in terms of the witch's night ability. But if the witch is the only character in your ship with a night ability, return the witch to your hand. Oh, so she could be used for a future voyage, because we do keep any cards we haven't played at the end of the voyage. They are part of your hand for the next one, because we've only got 4 days of this voyage, so 2 of these cards are going to go with us to the next round. We'll get 6 new cards, but we could still potentially play some of these. So it might we might really want to keep the apprentice. Of course, isn't going to be great played first, is he? Because it's used the ability of a character in your ship. But a powerful sun ability that would come later, usually, you could make happen really early with the apprentice. So I think we've got everything out there. Yes, the solo, I should say that as well. That this is coming out very soon. This is, as far as I know, a production version. Pre-orders for the new Libertalia start March 2nd, and it will be available in normal retail towards the end of April, I believe. And yes, this is, as is true with all Stonemaier games with a solo mode, I believe, this is done by Automa Factory. There you go. And Automa Factory have worked on other things too. But their start, their big beginning, came here, right? So the first view is better. This one's better. I'll stick with that one though. Yeah, I haven't quite worked out how this camera's going to be. It's a last minute thing. Can I make this look all right? No, I can't. And the computer doesn't want to recognize the camera. Yeah, it's like I have got things a little bit, I try and make it so I don't have to zoom out very much. But yeah, there is, for you and the Automa, a ship area of characters you have played in previous rounds on this voyage. And their abilities might matter, depending on what they've got on their cards. The Automa has the same thing. The Automa has things out on their ship as well. So we're going to need a bit more space. Like, my treasure chest is off screen for now. We don't need to see it all the time. We do need to see the Automa's deck a bit. We don't need to see their score going through the whole thing. But we've done all of these things. Populate your loot tokens, gain the same 6 cards, gain doubloons based on your reputation. I did that a bit early, but it don't matter. Then we've done the setup before each voyage. Now we have the gameplay. So we have 4 days basically. Each of those days we will select a card, place it face down on the island, and reveal. Obviously in the solo game there's no need to do that unless you're really worried about the Automa kind of changing the rules as you go on. The one thing that I'm not completely sure about, so what we do is, I pick a card just as if I was playing the multiplayer game. We get the card from the top of the deck to be the pilferer, and then we will see a new card here. So this is kind of a flowchart, right? Which is the button that zooms in on the bots area. So this is a bit of a flowchart for which card the Automa is going to play. So we can't really be sure what they're going to play yet. And they've got categories of loot tokens and stuff. We'll get to that. So we don't really know what they're going to play. We know that they've got similar abilities to us. I think some things are tweaked a little, but generally they've got the same numbers of cards and they're going to do similar things. So, the apprentice wouldn't be a great one to go first then, because it would let me use the ability of a character on my ship. I don't have any on my ship. I haven't played any cards yet. The owner of the rightmost character on the island gives you 2 money and gains a reputation. Now, I mean, that's always nice. It would put me down in reputation. But it's a very low numbered card, and it's very likely that when Automa plays that, it'll just reverse itself, won't it? Carpenter, lose half your doubloons rounded down, then gain 10. That would be great if I could play the Carpenter after Automa plays the Beggar, steals 2 of my money, then I lose less, and will gain 10 at the very end. The Witch, an okay one to have out. Return a character from your graveyard to your hand without revealing it. So they go to your graveyard at the end of a voyage, or if some effect makes them go to your graveyard. And the Treasurer only happens at the end of the voyage. Gain a doubloon for each barrel, each amulet, and each chest token in your ship. So we can think about those abilities and also the day's loot out here. So we have The relic. Taking this loses you 3 doubloons. You don't want this unless you've got some reason to be having it, some card or something. The map. For each set of 2 map tokens, you get 7 doubloons at the end of the voyage. For each set of 3, you get 12. So, worth having. The saber. Discard the lowest ranked knight character from your opponent's ship. If there are none to discard, gain 3 doubloons. So it could be good for just gaining 3. But I'm thinking, I would like the map. I would like very much to not play the lowest numbered card, because Automa's going to play a card, the Pilferer is going to play a random card, kind of, and then I'm going to play a card. I probably don't want to be playing my beggar. Like the Apprentice we don't want to play first anyway. I don't really want to play my beggar when there's such a bad thing, really. Potentially up for grabs. If I play the lowest number, I'm getting that relic and losing 3 doubloons. So maybe I'm thinking about playing the Carpenter and hoping that Automa will play the beggar. Although I don't think they will. I think they'll play. I think they'll play something fairly high. What shall I do? The other things, yeah, it's nice to just have first choice. Playing the Treasurer might be good to just make sure I get one of these maps. And to ensure that I get 3, because there's 3 different days, basically. That's how you would get 3 maps. Yeah, let's go for it. Treasurer. The Automa, of course, has got this number as well, so we'll get to do this on a different day. But I'm going to try and make sure that I get that. So, in multiplayer, we'd play it face down. I'm going to play it here. So there's my card. I've made my choice. Then the Pilferer comes in and plays a card. So we make sure the card's at the right side for the Pilferer. A 27. So actually, let's play a pretty good card to get ahead of the Pilferer there. So now we can look at the back of the new card for the bot. The bot divides loot into different categories. Good, average, and bad. Good is treasure chests, hooks, and maps. Average is saber, amulet, barrel. Bad is relic. So we've basically got good in the map, average in the saber, and bad in the relic. On the back of the bot's card, it's got these different categorizations, and they all mean the same thing. These numbers and symbols on the right are going to be different, but these categories are always the same. The categories mean the 3 loot tokens are all from the same category, so either all good, all average, or all bad. Second row means there are 2 bad tokens. Third row means there is at least 1 bad and 1 good. Fourth row means there is at least 1 good. And the last row is anything else with just 1 bad. It means that the last row will, if it hasn't been anything else in this flowchart, the last one will always happen. So we know from this, there is not 3 of the same, they're 1 of each. There are not 2 bad. Is there a good and a bad? Yes. So then we can go to the right-hand side of the card. It's going to play the second card from the right. So we can, this is why we fan the cards out in this order. 32, 31. They're going to play their Surgeon, so the Treasurer is still waiting in the wings. Over on the island, we can see the final play. And yeah, we can go on with everything. Hi, Melissa. I'm lucky that Marty is kind of, for a cat, quite compliant to the Marty cam. Especially if I'm on my own in the house, he tends to want to be around me. And we've made him usually it's just a blanket on Rachel's chair, but we've made him a special Marty station after we've rearranged the room. He seems to be enjoying it. He's got cushions and everything under that blanket. So yes, we've selected our things. Then we go to the daytime phase. So in the daytime phase, starting from the leftmost character, and here you go, you can see the daytime symbol there. We go left to right in numerical order, activating daytime abilities. Now, you'll see this for a lot of the phases. The Pilferer does not activate anything, does not care, is just there to be in the way in a lot of cases. So, Pilferer doesn't do anything. The Surgeon Automa gains 5 doubloons. That's not great. Because, yeah, that's ultimately points. So Automa has 15 now. And over to me, I do not have a daytime ability, so nothing. The dusk phase happens as usual, but the Automa and Pilferer will get tokens in this phase. So the normal dusk phase is gain a loot token, if any, from the current day, unless your character says otherwise. So starting from highest to lowest. If your character and or the newly gained loot token have dusk abilities, activate those now. And if your character is still on the island at this point, they go face up on your ship. So, I get first choice. I want that map. I would like to have 3 map tokens worth 12 doubloons at the end of this. So, I'm going to gain that, and it just goes on the table next to me. Then we go to Automa. Automa gains the loot token among those available. That's the leftmost on its priority list. So, we can go through this. No. Saber. It will take the Saber. Sabre. So when I take the map, it doesn't do anything yet. It's an end of voyage ability. The Saber does, that is an ability to activate. So discard the lowest ranked character from your opponent's ship. There's none on there, so they get 3 doubloons. So that might not be great for me. But hopefully, yeah, I'm going to gain those. I'm going to gain those things later. The Pilferer gains the loot token according to the priority list. Now, depending on what's happened, the Automa's priority can change, but the Pilferer's priority is always this. They haven't got a choice, basically. The Pilferer just takes it. Obviously, if they weren't last, they would have a priority. They take the token and just put it back in the bag. They're not really a player. They don't take these things. They're just pilfering things. And then at night time, this can all happen at the same time. Players activate night abilities on characters in their ship. You may activate night abilities in the order of your choice. So yes, when we're doing these things as well, you can see we're gaining tokens. We're not changing our dials yet. That happens at the end of the voyage. So yes, your characters are still on the island, so they go in your ship. So I'm just gonna make a outside section of what my ship is. Automa has their surgeon on their ship. I'll just have them right up at the top, away from their hand. Pilferer's card just gets discarded. Nothing else happens with that. And there we go. There is the first day of the voyage. It's as simple as that, right? That's all it needs. Hi, Jeremy. Oh, don't worry. We can start over. We've only missed the first day. I'll tell you again. Of course, don't get strategy from this. Pilferer gonna pilfer. Yes. Oh, the priority list is... Oh, the order of the tiles that you put in, of course, yeah. Because as well, these are good, these are bad, and... No, these are good, these are average, these are bad. These are good, these are good. And yeah, it's the order that these are in, is the priority list. Good point. So yes, we can go on to day 2. So we don't need to do any of that. We're picking another card, basically. So we can see... I played my 32, my best card in terms of getting the loot that you want. They played their 31. The Pilferer, who can predict the Pilferer? So looking on the island at the loot available, we've got a relic again. Lose 3 doubloons at the end of the voyage. Don't want that. The amulet, the Automa considers average. This is gain 3. So I would like to come first or second if possible. So... I think, actually, the Automa is just going to choose... Like, we can't know what's going to be on the card, really. We can know the category that they're going to choose from, but we don't know what card that's going to correlate to yet. Let's look at abilities on things that I might want. So, I have not gained or lost anything just yet. I do want barrels, amulets, and chests. My treasurer, who's hanging out on my ship now that I've played him, will get me an extra doubloon for every barrel, amulet, or chest I have on my ship. So I definitely would like the amulet. So that probably means don't play the beggar, to play the apprentice. I would like to play the carpenter, but that kind of relies on somebody playing a worse card than me. And there's only... Well, the Automa has the same cards, so might play a 3 or a 2. The pilferer, who knows what they're going to play. I could play the witch, although it's useless, really. The only use is that for the number, and I'd be able to carry her into the next round because there are no other cards out here with a knight ability. So her copy the knight ability of another card doesn't really work out. But the end of voyage ability, if she is the only one with a knight ability out there, take her into the next round, put her back in your hand. Could be pretty cool. The surgeon, if I want first choice, the surgeon is right there. But then that might leave me vulnerable later. There is nothing to return from my graveyard. I won't get the benefit of that. I feel like the carpenter's a bit too risky. I might go with the witch. Yeah, abilities, they don't particularly look that great, do they? Yeah, the Automa's got a saber. Yeah, hopefully we can work something out with Stonemaier Games, and they can put multi-coins in everything. Oh wait, is everything looking a bit washed out? Is it? I never quite know. It's all like it might be a bit too bright. Does that look a bit better? I'll make things look nice. But no, I did not keep sabers. And in future, there are no sabers coming out though, actually. Yeah, I think like this was always like it seemed to always be being played in the game group we used to go to at when we had a particular game shop buyers. It seemed to come in quite often, and I think it depends on the group. Like every game depends on the group. What am I saying? But yeah, if you are that kind of, it's not even particularly about negotiation and bluffing and stuff. You do know what cards people are going in their hand, and you can have a bit of that in there. But it's that kind of table talk and just gambling over like now you will. It's why the Automa mode's pretty cool. You are still making those same decisions. I don't know if do I waste this now? Do I make them lose this now and become a target for next time? Obviously, the Automa's not going to target you if you make them lose money. But in the multiplayer game, that's the kind of thing you are thinking about. All right. Hopefully that looks a little bit nicer. Right, the sheriff's gone. We can continue. So I think I don't want to play the surgeon. Yeah, a load of my cards I don't particularly want to play, but we will go with the witch. So 15 on the witch. The pilferer 36. Oh no, am I getting a relic here? Okay, so we know that there are 2 averages and a bad. Oh, you can see them all together here. So there isn't 3 of everything. There isn't 2 bads. There isn't a good and a bad. There is, get the right name of the thing up. There is... oh no, there isn't at least 1 good, is there? It's the last. It's any combination with a bad token. So it's going to play the 3rd most one. Have I done it? I could have gotten away with playing the carpenter, actually. Which I might have wanted to do, because I have the higher reputation. I break ties in my favour. So, how does that shake out? Daytime, this order, carpenter doesn't do anything right now. At the end of the voyage, it's going to gain the Automa 6 coins. Then the witch doesn't do anything in the day. Pilferer doesn't do anything anytime. Then dusk, we go back. Pilferer takes a loot token based on the priority, of course. So amulet comes before relic. So takes an amulet away. I get next choice. I'm going to take the amulet, which at the end of the voyage is going to gain me 3 doubloons. And that means Automa is stuck with the relic that is going to lose them 3. And we take our cards. Pilferer just gets discarded. The witch goes onto my ship. And the carpenter goes onto Automa's ship. So we don't really need to see the other card on Automa's ship because it's not going to do anything else. It gained them money in the day. The Carpenter, I don't think there's a way of me getting rid of the Carpenter, but it would be nice for the Carpenter not to be there and not to gain them 6 money. But I think with the particular configuration of cards we came out with, there's no discarding other people's cards, I don't think. So next day, again, well, actually, I want the map, don't I? So that I can have a set of 3 map tokens worth 12 doubloons. I'm definitely getting a map no matter what I play next time. And that would be worth 7. If I got the hook, keep a character in your ship. Oh, for the end of the voyage. Keep a character in your ship or gain 4 doubloons. Automa will always choose 4 doubloons. That'd be interesting. I could keep the treasurer out and keep earning money for different things. So I suppose what I'm saying is I don't particularly mind which card I play now either. Maybe it would be a good time to get the Carpenter down. And if I ended up with the hook... Oh, the hook is better than the map, isn't it? The hook's high priority. I'm probably not getting the hook unless I play my surgeon and waste their ability, essentially. And if I save the surgeon, not only am I going to be able to use this ability next time, because anyone that was on my ship at the end of this voyage will go into the graveyard, I will be going into the next round with a 31, a pretty high card in a deck of 40. We don't know the configuration of next round's cards yet, but that would be pretty good to go in with, wouldn't it? I feel like playing the Carpenter while I haven't got too much money. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that. I don't want to waste the surgeon. Oh, thanks, James. Thank you, Patreon bot. Yes, so that is me. Just in 11. I feel like the Pilferer is going to beat me again. 30. The Pilferer is gambling high, but is also wasting all of the high cards, so they won't be coming out in future rounds. And don't draw another one. The Automa. So we have 3 good, basically. All good. Plays the 4th from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plays the Treasurer. I would not have gotten the hook no matter what I played, because I had a 31. So, yeah, the top priority, you can see the order here, starting from the chest, going down. They take the hook, basically. So it doesn't do anything just yet. They take the hook, and the Treasurer goes on there. They get a coin for every barrel, amulet, and chest on their ship, which is the same for me, if I have that, which I do. And then we each get a map, basically. It means, though, I will have a set of 3 maps, which is worth 12 doubloons. The Pilferer's card just goes away. The Carpenter comes onto my ship. Oh, actually, we didn't do the daytime ability, did we? Lose half of my doubloons rounded down. I lose 4 precious doubloons. I've only got 5 to the Automa's 18. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Right. So that is it for another day. The Treasurer is indeed a blue frog. If you can see him... Actually, he's covered up on my boat, isn't he? There he is. The Carpenter is a boar. A terrible boar. Yeah, they're all pirate animal folk. Right. So now, the last day. The loot is not a consideration. We're all getting a map, no matter what. Just because of what came out of the bag. So the card I want to play, I would like to steal 2 money from the Automa, but I would also be losing a reputation for that, and so ties in future would break in Automa's favour unless I gain something else. Use the daytime ability of another character on my ship. I've only got the Carpenter, and that would be lose half my doubloons again, which I don't want. So I'm not going to be playing the Apprentice, and again the Surgeon would be wasted. So I think it's the Beggar. I don't particularly want to use the ability of the Beggar, but I don't want to waste the ability of these. These will stay in my hand and come into the next round with me. The next voyage. So it's just going to be the Beggar. The Pilferer plays 35. Going big for those map tokens. And Automa is going to... so they are 3 good. So again, we go from the top, but they only consider cards that have got this cannon icon on them. See, we've got this cannon next to there. So working from the left, the second cannon card from the left. If there is only 1 cannon card, you play that one. So they are playing their Beggar as well. So we put them in there, but mine goes first, right? So we're breaking, yeah, if any, arrange them according to the reputations of their players. The player with the highest reputation places their character on the right. So unfortunately, they're stealing from me as well, and stealing a bit more from me. Okay, daytime, starting from the beggar. The owner of the rightmost character on the island, gives the Automa 3 money and gains a reputation. Well, that's the pilferer. And the pilferer doesn't care about that. So, times when this wouldn't have an effect, you can see now, the rank becomes 18, which, if the loot tokens hadn't happened to all be the same, would, shake things up. But as it is, yeah, that's it's a futile attempt to change things. The beggar, I don't take. The owner of the... Oh no, that means that the pilferers... It means I'm not getting anything, right? Anything that targets the pilferer. I've not had the beggar before. It's not come up where I have to steal from the pilferer. That means, as far as I know, right, that's just not happening. I think we've both lost out and both wasted characters because we both ended up playing the beggar. Because the pilferer won't stop playing the highest cards in the game for some reason. The pilferer's just there for chaos, isn't he? He doesn't care about any of this stuff. As far as I know, that's the that's just the pilferer, right? In terms of games, he's not an owner of a character. Okay, then, so that would mean that our beggars do just target each other, then, wouldn't it? Because the pilferer is not an owner of anything. Yeah, he's not an owner of a character. Thank you. Yeah. So I am losing out a bit here, but I will be back on reputation, won't I? So I have to give Automa 3 money, but I gain a reputation for doing it. And then Automa has to give me 2 money, and they gain a reputation. So that's the way the daytime abilities are working. Then at dusk, there's an order, but they're all map tokens, which means they're not getting anything for that one map token, which is quite nice, isn't it? So I've got a third as well, which is going to help out, as what I ended up with. So my beggar goes on my ship, their beggar goes on their ship. That's their hand for next time. Their starting hand anyway. And yeah, because it would be weird, wouldn't it, if we just kept targeting the pilferer all the time. Yeah, their beggar targeted me. Oh yeah, my beggar wouldn't do anything, would it? Oh, but I do. So I wouldn't gain any money, would I? I wouldn't gain any money from the Automa because I am the right player. But I gain the reputation again. I am the owner of the rightmost character on the island. So I didn't gain any more money, but I got a reputation again. Yes. Interpret things properly. So, I was in the lead for reputation anyway. I broke ties anyway. I'm now starting off the next round with less money. Only 7 doubloons. But if I gain reputation in the future, I gain doubloons instead. So that's a little positive to that. Okay. So there's nothing extra for the solo mode. Just make sure I'm doing all of the things for the end of the voyage. So we can leave the hand off to one side for now. We can just look at the crew of my ship. And basically, we've got... the beggar hasn't got an end of round 1. The carpenter gained 10 doubloons. That'll catch me up a little bit. The witch, if the witch is your only character in the ship with a knight ability, she is. No one else has got a knight ability. So you can return the witch to your hand, which I will do. And then gain a doubloon for each barrel, amulet, and chest in your ship. I've got an amulet, so I get a doubloon. So yeah, 13 to 20, I think, at the moment. We haven't done amulets, though. So yeah, activates all of the things on your loot tokens and characters and all of that stuff. Then we can look at the loot tokens themselves. The amulet is just gain 3 doubloons. So on 16. And then the map, for each set of 2, they're worth 7. For each set of 3, gain 12. So I can gain 12 there. So that puts me back in a bit, doesn't it? What am I on now? 27. So that's not too bad. Then, and everyone can do this at the same time if they want, then you increase your score dial by your number of doubloons and then discard those doubloons. So this is banked now. So 28, isn't it? 28 is my score for the end of voyage number 1. And then, sadly, these Marty bucks are going to have to go back to the bank. And then discard your loot tokens and characters in ship. Loot tokens all go back into the bag. And the character cards in your ship go into your graveyard. So remember the surgeon's ability, get someone back from the graveyard. I could have one of these again if I wanted them to make a reappearance. And if, cards get discarded from ships, they go into graveyards. So you might want to get them back in that way. And then... The example in general rules is about the beggar. Have I done it wrong again? Let's nail this beggar down. We do target the example that the number of voyages is fixed. Yeah, the number of voyages and days is fixed. There will just be more players. The loot tokens is 1 per player, or in a 2-player game, 3. There's an example using the beggar. Oh, which example is about the beggar? I think you were right. Because yeah, it does say early on that the pilferer isn't a player or an owner of a character. Yeah, so the character that he plays is a character on the island, and things can happen to characters on the island. But things that target an owner of the rightmost character, he's not an owner. Oh, but he has got a rightmost character. Oh, here's the example with the beggar. Okay. The rightmost character is the one played by the pilferer. Okay, so the character does exist, but he hasn't got an owner. So we both... I didn't give the Automa 3 money. And I didn't go up any reputation, did I? Okay. Seems like that would have stuck in the playthrough. Steve would have had to rescue me with the subtitles. So I should have 3 more, basically, and they should have 3 less. So I've ended up with 31. There we go. So, that's it, isn't it? That's my hand for next time. And we can go on to the bot. They've got their hand for next time. But on their ship, the beggar's got no end of voyage ability. Treasurer, they gain a money for each barrel, amulet, and chest. Well, I believe that is nothing. The Automa gains 6 doubloons. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Although, I got 7 out. And then the Surgeon, nothing. They gained 5 at the time. So that's their characters on their ship. And then the Relic is lose 3, which is fine by me. The Saber happened at the time. They couldn't discard characters, so they gained 3 money. Oh, it didn't reference sabers, did it? Barrel, amulets, and chests, no. The map is sets of 2 and 3, so they get nothing for that. And the hook, keep a character in your ship or gain 4. Automa will always choose the 4, so they gain another 4. And so they have ended up with 25, which is less than 31. So I'm all right with that. So it would have been, yeah, 30. It would have been 28 to 28, wouldn't it? If they'd have been allowed to have that money off me. Okay, so we're still quite close, though. 6 coins in it. We should no longer have any doubloons or characters on our ships or anything like that, unless you've got things that let you mess about with the rules. We've just got our hands of cards. So Automa never played their witch, so they've got the apprentice and the witch. And then I have got the apprentice and the surgeon that I never played, and the witch, thanks to their ability, came back into my hand. So we're set up for the next voyage. I'm going to have a quick drink. They're lovely, aren't they? I think, like, you could pretty much say this for any Stonemaier things. Art's lovely. Components lovely. Yes. I found it all. We're all square. Yes. So, Voyage 2. We need... I'll give them a good mix. And so you can hear a bit of clacking in the background. And we want 3 loot tokens. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So, sabers and map. We haven't seen any chests. We haven't seen any barrels. We've only seen the one hook. Hook. Hook in it. It's hook. No one's here to tell me it isn't pronounced hook. And yes, we're on Voyage 2, so there is a 5th day. And, oh dear. I want to save a high number for day 5, probably, when it's quite likely I'm going to be stuck with a relic. And who wants that? So that's that. Populate loot tokens, gain the same 6 character cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. And I will just grab those numbers from my cards as well. See what we're getting. Oh, thanks, Gemway. Yes, if you've come in since I said it, patreon.com/slickerdrips if you would like to support the channel, help me make more things. Hey, maybe I'll do this full time one day. Who knows? 12, 18, 20, 24, 28, 33. So I need to get them in order, not just for, you know, ease of seeing them, but also it's how they make their decisions of which cards to play. Like a certain number from the left or right. 20, 28, oh, 24, nearly could count up properly. And 33. And then I probably want mine in a similar order, really. Mine aren't going to fit, though, are they? I want mine in a similar order for being able to choose from them. Although we know what the surgeon and the witch and that do, don't we? Oh dear, the gunner. So we can see a zoom if you want to sneak peek at some of these abilities. The gunner discards people from ships. If you chose an opponent's character, you lose a reputation. If you chose one of your own characters, you gain a reputation. Okay, so we've got our kind of busy hands of cards. Is there any more camera that I could move over here? No, I've got no more camera I can spare. But we'll see them all as I choose all of the cards. And our hands just get bigger. Although we're playing 5 of them this time, aren't we? So there we go. We've set those up. And then finally, we need the doubloons based on our reputations, which again is 9 for me and 10 for Automa. So I've got my 9 off screen there. And Automa can just have a nice shiny Space Marty 10. Right. I think we're ready for voyage number 2. Day 1. Out on the island. A saber is probably not going to be that great unless Automa plays a nighttime character straight away. And I probably don't want to play a nighttime character because it's going to get discarded. That is maybe a risk in day 3 as well. That's something to think about, isn't it? So I would like the map. Who doesn't want 3 maps and a load of points? I don't want to play a really high card, though, do I? The Armourer, if you gain a Saber or Hook token, gain 2 reputation. And at night time, gain a doubloon for every Saber and Hook in your ship. That could be pretty nice, couldn't it? And that would keep going off if I kept getting, like, Sabers and things. It could be something to think about. The top man, every night, gain 4 and then lose 1 for each character on your ship. A good thing to get out early, wouldn't it? But then Saber could get rid of it. Like, if I take the Armor and I'm first, then if the Automa gets the second Saber, they will use their ability to just discard the only night character on my ship. But they'll go for the map if it's there. But if the Pilferer gets in before them, they're not going to do it. Oh dear. Decisions. The freed prisoner, at the end of every night, gain a money for each character in your ship with a rank higher than 20. If you ever gain 3 or more this way, in a single night, discard the freed prisoner. So you only really want 2 people while they're there. Gambler, lose 1 for each of your loot tokens at the end of the voyage, gain 6. So a good one to get out early, and then I wouldn't have a night token. But the Armourer you want out in the turn where you're going to gain a Saber or a Hook. I think Armourer. Let's look at the other things. If you have 12 or more doubloons, gain 2 reputation. Otherwise, gain doubloons until you have 12. Good if I lose a load. Gunner, discard a character from every ship. We've seen that. If you choose someone else's, you lose a reputation. If you choose your own, you gain a reputation. The Witch we saw last time, copy a night ability, which, you know, the top man, gain 4 and then lose 1 for every character on your ship. That's going to get worse later on, isn't it? But I could use the Gunner to get rid of them when I've got loads of characters out, and then I would gain a reputation. I'm going to go Armourer. I feel that's risky, but I'm going Armourer. I'm going to be getting a Saber. I want it to work out. I can still get 3 map tokens, but I probably want a Saber there, don't I? Let's see. Pilferer is going for 25. And Automa, we have a good and 2 average. So they're not all 3 the same. There are not 2 bad. There's not a good and a bad. There is at least 1 good. So they take the first cannon card, which is number 20. The freed prisoner. Okie doke. So, daytime cards. Not for the Pilferer. Automa gains 2 money. 2 doubloons. 2 Marty bucks. And I get nothing. Dusk phase. Starting with me, I am going to choose Saber. Am I? Yes. I'm going to choose the Saber. Because gaining reputation in the future could be really lucrative then. And then if you gain a Saber or a Hook token, gain 2 reputation. So I am at the top of the reputation tree. And the Automa map is higher up on their priority than Saber. So they'll take the map, which means Pilferer gets the Saber and it goes back into the bag. Pilferer's card goes away. The freed prisoner stays on here, and we do now have night abilities to think about. So simultaneously with other players, we activate all of our night abilities of people on our ship. So, over on my ship, gain a doubloon for each Saber and Hook in your ship. I have a Saber, which means I gain a doubloon. And then over on Good Ship Automa, at the end of each night, they gain 1 for every character that has a rank higher than 20, which at the moment is nothing. Same as me then. And if they ever earn 3 or more in a single night, discard the free prisoner. So they haven't got any with a rank higher than 20, but they do have many cards that are higher than 20 for next time. And there we go. There's day 1. So now I've got that out. Do I want the freed prisoner out? Earning me 1 every night while it's out here? Do I want the gambler out? Lose 1 for each of your loot tokens out here? I would like a map. Because if I get the maps, it means the Automa's not getting the maps. And they'll be worth nothing. Amulet is nice, but not essential. It's worth 3 money. Which is always good, but it's not amazing. I do want good nighttime abilities out, but I feel like the top man. Automa could potentially play 2 cards higher than that. Or do I just do the Gambler? Just do the Gambler. It's less night abilities that get to activate. But I'm highest reputation. I'll get that map token away. And then there's chests coming up. Chests haven't come up before. They gain you 5. I don't particularly want to gain someone back from my graveyard just yet, I don't think. Oh, I didn't do the thing either, did I? The Saber. Discard the lowest ranked night character from your opponent's ship. At the time I took this, there was no one on my opponent's ship. So if they're a non to discard, gain 3 doubloons. Which is not bad. So actually, I could trade some of these in, couldn't I? Some Marty bucks. I'm tempted to do the Gambler and get the map. But at the same time, there's still 3 map tokens. I would like more Sabres, of course. The barrel gets your reputation, which is doubloons to me. I think top man, and I could even play the witch to copy the top man's ability. The first character to play, it might have been good to do top man, then witch to copy it while we didn't have many things. That could have been a good idea. Hi Debbie. Not at the moment. We've only just made they're just handmade things from like it was Rachel's idea. I don't remember this, but I trust that it was Rachel's idea to stick something on, and we made some Marty things. I'm glad you like them though, and yeah, I thought about last time. Poker chips are heavy to send around, but we could try and get some sticker sheets or something up. I really like the art in this. But like the old one looks fine. It looks piratey. They look like pirates. Like, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. There are other games, of course, that have these fantasy anthropomorphic animals, like the Snowdale games. You know, Dale of Merchants, Dawn of Peacemakers. And it's come up in cartoons and all sorts of stuff, rather than just limiting it to board games. But yeah, I wouldn't say that just because they're animals, they're nice. They do some pretty annoying things, but they seem happy to be here. And yeah, it's different strokes, really, isn't it? But yeah, I think that the old artwork was fine. It was piratey. You can look it up on Board Game Geek, but it was still just pirates. Like, I don't get the I feel free, of course, to not like it and stuff. And there are some people on Board Game Geek that really, really, really do not like it, which always surprises me. Although I don't really bother rating games, so people that angrily rate games always surprise me. I've played a top man anyway. I'm getting myself off track. The Pilferer is coming in with a 19, and then the bot is making decisions. We have a good, an average, and a bad. So, no. There is a good and a bad. So second from the right, they are going to get the map token, aren't they? Yeah, map is highest on their priority, so that's what they'll be taking. And yeah, we can go ahead with the abilities. Left to right, nothing. Oh, the Armourer. When choosing a loot token, Automa uses this priority list, even if the Explorer's in play. So their priority goes hook, saber, chest, map. So they're still taking the map, but you know they might have prioritized because they've got the Armourer like me, so they will gain money at the end of the voyage rather than every night for sabers and hooks that they have. So yeah, it's fine, isn't it? That Dusk ability is just for this time, isn't it? So they've got a second map token, which is going to be worth 7 doubloons for them at the end, and they will gain doubloons based on having hooks and sabers, which at the moment there's one more saber up for grabs. I don't know. I really want it, but that means I'm letting the Automa have 2, which is worth 12. But if I get this and then don't get this one, oh, actually, I do want the maps, don't I? Because I don't want the relics, And if I get this map alone, it's worth nothing. I can get rid of the freed prisoner, though. If I take another saber, that gets the freed prisoner off the Automa's boat, which would be a nice thing for stopping them earning some money, maybe. But yes, they have taken their thing. They're going on their ship, and they've got no knight ability to activate. I get to choose. I'll take the amulet then, which is going to get me 3 money at the end of the voyage. And the pilferer is going to take on that cursed relic. So the top man goes into my discard pile. I know these are actual, a lot of them are actual, boat positions and things. But I just think of the shop every time I see that top man come up. And like, I understand now after looking it up that it's just like an alternate spelling, but I'm used to bosun being spelled boatswain and being one of those bizarre English things that obviously says boatswain. Why are we saying bosun? But yeah, I can go like this is a bit of a tangent from gameplay, I suppose. But I can tell you the notes from Jamie that tell you, I won't read this entire page out, don't worry, but bullet pointed the changes between the versions. There are 40 characters each instead of 30 now. Every loot token now has a double-sided tile associated with it. So some of these are specific to the Automa game. You can see the Automa Factory thing on. But they've got a calm mode and a stormy mode. So that the stormy mode is more complex. So the chest, normally, it's just gain 5 money. Fine. But the chest, gain 4 plus 1 for each of your map tokens. So suddenly chests and maps are desirable together. Rather than just working well alone. The maps go from set of 2 worth 7, set of 3 worth 12. Instead, if you have more map tokens than any one opponent, gain 8 doubloons and lose all your maps. Otherwise, keep your map tokens for the next voyage. So as long as you've got more than someone, but it makes it less likely you'll have more next time. So they've all got their alternate sides. So you can play calm mode, you can play stormy mode, and you can also play... Is it chaotic seas, where you just mix them up? Uncharted seas, where you just you flip them over and just decide what you want to play with. A reputation system replaces previous tiebreaker rules. As I said, I have played Libertalia before, but it was so long ago I can't really compare them. And as I said at the start, I didn't enjoy it. It's not my kind of the interactive take thatiness of the multiplayer mode is not my natural habitat. But yes, reputation, and it determines the number of doubloons you get as well. Open and hidden information. Loot tiles are double-sided now, making it easier to set up and impossible to conceal. They're now open information. And instead of a board, instead of money on the board, you've got those dials, which is still open information. You've now got a single graveyard, which you discard characters into during and at the end of the voyage. Certain character cards interact with your graveyard. 2-player mode, there's an extra character that goes in the middle of the board in 2 players, and depending on whether you play a card higher or lower than that, I think they're 20.5, the midshipman, different things will happen. And the solo mode, the Automa, is included as well. And all new art and all of that stuff, which may float your boat, may not. Yeah, like, I suppose it depends on the way as well. Like, obviously, I can't speak about like the individual cards and what exactly changed, but the if you're playing with the complex mode and the more interactive mode, and a particular set of cards come out, I wonder if it's still as interactive, if there's still as much negative stuff in. I think there is. Like it's not an out-and-out fighting game, is it? You're discarding cards from people's ships, and maybe they're making them give you money and stuff like that. There are probably maybe some more interactive things that I haven't seen yet, because there's 40 cards, and you get a random assortment of 6 per voyage. You do see more cards as the pilferer discards them, but you don't really look at all of the abilities on them. And I've only had this like a week, by the way, as well. The parrot was particularly hated, so some characters were tweaked as well. But yeah, it's as pretty much always with the Automa Factory, they sometimes it needs a complex deck of things. Sometimes like this, it's not as simple as, say, it wasn't viticulture's mode, it was just where they're going, right? It was just which worker placement spots are being blocked, I think, if I remember that right. And then something like Gaia Project or the Glenmore 2's Automa mode, they have to be more involved, right? They have to have exceptions and extra rules and things for, especially with all of the different modules of Glenmore, they have to account for all of that stuff. But this is pretty much, it's not as simple as just, block this space this turn, but you don't get perfect information. You've still got to worry about what's going to get played, what of yours might get discarded. But yeah, you are not worrying about the... I was saying earlier, the multiplayer element would have things like, if I target you and discard your character, if you get a chance to discard someone's character next time, there's a higher than normal chance you're going to pick mine because I targeted you. Even if you happen to be the player in the lead or whatever. I'm not talking from my wheelhouse here. I try to avoid games that do that. But yeah, I think these the animals themselves, like, I suppose if you just think animals, like the land looks nice, doesn't it? And it looks kind of tranquil. But I am playing on the calm side of the board as well. I can't show you the stormy side without flipping everything. But yeah, the characters themselves, I wouldn't say... It's maybe more true of something like Dale of Merchants. The animals look happy and nice and gentle. And I wouldn't say that as much about these. But yeah, it's all up to your personal taste, isn't it? I would say that, although I still wouldn't like the some of the interactivity of the multiplayer game, I think I would be more easily persuaded to play something looking like this rather than the original Libertalia, which I reluctantly played. I don't know if, like, at that point we knew particularly the kind of games that we were really into. But yeah, just not the type of players that I'm stealing all of your money, or I'm discarding that really important character to you and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, but I don't think it is, like, I don't think it's really the same as Galecrest. It's animal folk, right? It's anthropomorphic animals. But yeah, where that is, a kind of a more twee happy Tom Sawyer kind of thing going on, and you're only going off kind of the looks of the characters. I mean, they don't look like they're anything to mess with right here. They're not just kind of sitting there all cheery. So I say it depends. Yeah, if you're a big fan of the original as well, then yeah, it's a radical departure. It's a radical new direction. I'll say that, but I'm for it. Right, I will get on with it. The Sheriff Marty has departed. I will get on with the game. Right, so it's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Pretty good things out. There's a good and 2 average. So the barrel would get me a reputation and a money at the end of the voyage. A reputation is worth a money to me right now. Sabre would let me discard... Oh, I haven't done the nighttime abilities, have I, of that round before I start waxing lyrical about everything. So nighttime abilities, gain 4 and then lose 1 for each character in your ship. I've got 2 characters, so basically it's going to gain me 2, isn't it, that? I probably don't want the top man to keep being there when I've got loads of people on my ship. And then the armourer, gain 1 for every sabre and hook. I've still got 1 sabre, so that's another doubloon to me. And then the freed prisoner... Where is he? At the end of each night, Automa gains 1 for every character with a rank higher than 20. They've got 1 with a rank higher than 20, so they're going to gain a doubloon as well. I think I'm doing pretty nicely early on. They have got 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have got myself 16. It's not too shabby, is it? Right, so I've caught up with that now. Now I'll get back to discussing day 3. So that would be worth 2 to me. 1 now, 1 at the end of the voyage. Sabre would get rid of the nighttime ability of one of Automa's characters. Could be good. It's not earning them that much, though. It depends what they play, doesn't it? The map... I was thinking earlier, wasn't I, that the map is probably worth more to me. Although the Sabre as well, it would get rid of one of their things and it would be an extra coin every night. thanks to my armourer. The map, though, I don't want them to get 3. They've already got 7 doubloons from the 2 maps they've got. They would get 12 from a set of 3. And if I want to get this and avoid the relic at the end, I would like to have 2 so they're worth something, so they're worth 7, rather than just 1 being worth nothing. So I probably want to play for the map, which is the most desirable thing, because it's the only good thing out there. So I probably want to play a high number. But I probably want to save my highest number for day 5 when I really don't want the other 2. If, you know, it just happened that I ended up with the saber, probably wouldn't be terrible. But I do not want the relic just losing 3 money. So looking at my high-numbered cards, Gambler's the best. It would, you know, gain 6 money at the end, lose 1 for each of your loot tokens, which would be 2 in the daytime when that would go off. The Surgeon later on would let me gain a card, but it would let me gain a treasure. I'm just thinking of gaining something that would be a high number. The Surgeon might still be something worth saving. The Freed Prisoner would be nice. Wouldn't necessarily guarantee me getting something good. Now, Automa has got 24 and 33 that would beat that, though. Not many cards. It just depends how keen they're going to be for that map. I might... If I don't play the Freed Prisoner now, though, that's kind of wasting 2 doubloons a night, isn't it? Which is probably going to work out better. It would go off 3, 4, 5, which would be better than the 5 they're going to gain for having all of those maps. And then we just get the map that's not worth that much at the very end. And the Gambler would just be worth less if we do end up getting the Gambler out. What do you reckon? I'm leaning towards Freed Prisoner. I think, anyway. I think. Don't think, do it. Yes, I'm going to go Freed Prisoner. So, Pilferer. 4? There's nothing bad to end up with. I'm not that that relieved. It's going to be okay no matter what we get. So there is not 3 of the same. There are not 2 bad. There's not a good and a bad. There is at least a good. So they're going to take the 4th one along, which is 18. I am going to end up with my choice, basically. So, the Gunner. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, Pilferer we don't worry about, of course. Gunner, discard a character from your ship. Our ship. Priority, highest ranked character. Apart from 36 Quartermaster. With endgame abilities. I haven't got anyone with voyage abilities yet. Lowest ranked character with nighttime ability. The top man. Lowest ranked character and Automa gains 2. What do you mean? Oh, if that's not true, you discard... If you haven't got any nighttime abilities, they just discard the lowest ranked character and Automa would get 2 money for discarding someone that wasn't that useful to you. So, unfortunately, the top man's gone. But, yeah, he would have been useful for a couple more rounds. But that's a little bit of a relief, I'll be honest. Because I'm about to get loads of characters on my ship, and it would be bad, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, I don't want it to be like a bad thing. That's why the most important thing is it's whatever you prefer, isn't it? In terms of the art and stuff. I think it's fine to dislike. I think it's strange to dislike it as much as some of the people that have rated it on furiously on Board Game Geek, but hey. I'm sure it'll be fine, right? Hey Loopy, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Help me pirate effectively. I've just been gunned. Okay, so no more daytime. Freed Prisoner isn't going to do anything in the day. It gives me the first choice, though. So what would I like to do now? It's tempting to grab that saber, get an extra coin every night, and... They would take the map then. But would they take the map? Yeah. If I took the saber, they would take the map. But if I take the map, they would take the saber and get to discard the lowest ranked character from my ship the lowest ranked knight character, which would be the armorer. It's only earning me one thing a night. It's only earning me one thing a night, and that's probably not terrible. It would have made the... It would have made the nighttime... it would have made the top man better for getting rid of all of these things. I think the map. I think we can afford to lose that character. It's earning me one thing a night. It's 3 coins I've lost, isn't it? But I will gain 7 if I get 2 map things. And I definitely want the map in day 5. I'm going to have the map. And then the freed prisoner comes to... Oh, but then the freed prisoner is going to be less effective because I'm going to have less... Then the freed prisoner's not going to earn me any money. Give them the map. I'm going to have the saber. I'm going to have the saber. Discard the lowest ranked nighttime character from your opponent's ship. They've played a gunner, so it's not got any more effective, but their freed prisoner's gone. Yeah, and they do get 2 doubloons plus 2 for every saber and hook. So, yeah, I think that's okay. They will take the map, which means they have 3 now. And the pilferer just takes the barrel. The gunner goes in their ship, but isn't going to do anything, so what's going to matter there? And then we have nighttime. So the Automa has no nighttime abilities now. I got rid of it. For me, the armorer, gain a doubloon for every saber. I've got 2 sabers, so that's going to be 2 for me. And then the freed prisoner, gain 1 for every character in your ship with a rank higher than 20. That's going to be 1 now because 1 got discarded. But that's still a lot of bucks. I know they're a little bit off camera. My hand's a bit smaller now, isn't it? So you can we can squeeze the doubloon count in. 19. No. 19. And 13 for Automa. So that's it, isn't it? It's a new day. Good things on offer. Either gain 5 doubloons, 2 goodies, and then an averagey, which is gain 3. Really, yeah, I think play something good. I would like to play something over 20, so it would help me earn more things at the end of every round from the freed prisoner. It's tempting to use the gunner now. Oh, the pilferer can go back, can't they? The officer would gain me 2 reputation, which is worth 2 money to me because I've got max reputation. Use the daytime ability of a character in your ship. No good, because I haven't got any good daytime abilities on characters in my ships. So the gambler would now lose 3 money when it goes out, but gain me 6 at the end, which isn't too bad. The surgeon returning someone from my graveyard. It's a high number. I just don't think... I don't have to play the thing I'm returning. I could have, the top man out again next time and maybe save the gunner. The treasurer, just a really high number to keep in the back pocket. And it's a high number which would get me some more money from the freed prisoner. I think that's decent. And I can always play that treasurer next time to try and make sure I get that map. I think that's an okay thing to do. I'm going to play the surgeon. Just make sure I keep forgetting to scroll down. So, pilferer is getting in the way. A 21's coming in. And we have 2 goods and a bad. So not 3 of the same, not too bad. Not too bad. Not a good and a bad. There is at least a good. So they are playing the rightmost card. They are, I don't want to say wasting, but wasting their gambler. So, daytime. No, return a character from your graveyard to your hand without revealing it. So I'm not even going to show you. No, I'll show you. It's the treasurer, right? Let's just have a high number. I don't particularly want the beggar. The carpenter is great as the first card you play, isn't it? Especially as I'm first in reputation now. I'm only gaining 7 at the start of a round. So losing half is only losing 3, and it will gain me 10 at the end. But I'm just feeling like I would like another really high card. It is surprisingly puzzly, right? Because, like, yeah, a load of the thing. I'll put my tangent marker on. A load of the things that will happen in, a multiplayer game. Yeah, especially at 2 players, right? Where you've got more in mind of what everyone's still got in their hands and what they've played in the past, and what might come up first, what the other person's going to be going for, is in there. It's just missing the Automa is not going to react to something specifically that you're doing, but of course has exceptions and particular abilities on their cards that let them react in that way. Right. So yes, I'm going to take the Treasurer. So no more daytime, dusk time. Their priority is, of course, the chest is number 1 priority. They take the chest and they'll get 5 doubloons for that at the end. But I don't care about having amulets, do I? I do if I play the Treasurer. Give you an extra money for every, but they give you extra money for chests. So why wouldn't I choose chest? Chest is 5 money and an amulet's only 3. So the Pilferer can have an amulet. Made out very nice. And then the Gambler goes onto the Automa ship. It's going to get them 5 at the end of the voyage. Surgeon comes onto my ship and isn't going to do anything apart from enhance the nighttime ability of the freed prisoner. I now have 2 characters that are higher than 20, so I gain 2 doubloons. Oh, so I am on 21. And then the Armourer is a money for every saber and hook. So I've got 2 sabers, so that's another 2 doubloons. And then the bots. Oh yeah, the bots still got no nighttime abilities because I got rid of their 1 nighttime ability. So that's not too bad, is it? Okay. I think, we're doing pretty well here. It's 23 to 13 at the moment in this particular round. And I am 6 ahead from previous, so who knows? Right. So it's going to be day 5. Yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre knife fight, but it's still a knife fight when you're just wildly swinging it. Hey, heavy cardboard, how's it going? Yes, I always take the treasure when I can. Thank you, I'm glad you like the poker chips. I love them. I am inspired by your number 1. I'm going to get the year wrong now. Inspired by your number 1 solo pick. I have got. I don't know if a playthrough will be anytime soon. It depends on the voters, but I've got 1862. That's the one, right? It's downstairs. It's why the poker chips came about. I'm scared. I've never played an 18xx game, but if it's your favourite solo game, there's got to be something to it, right? Right. What am I doing? You can see my brain completely collapse trying to play some heavy cardboard at some point in the future. So it's going to be day 5. What do we need? We need to make sure we are not getting those relics. We need to play the best card. And Automa's best card is a 24. So I can 100% guarantee that I will get that map by playing the Treasurer or the Gambler. The Treasurer will get me 2 coins as well, because I've got a barrel and I've got a chest and an amulet. So will definitely get me 2 at the end of the voyage. It's not great, but it's something. The Gambler would lose me 4 and gain me 6. If I was to take a risk, maybe a calculated risk here, because I don't have any map tokens. This map token is worth nothing to me. You don't get anything. Oh, actually, I was going to say you don't get anything for having 4, but you could just turn in each set of 2, couldn't you? You could have 2 sets of 2 if you had 4, and you'd get 14 doubloons. So it would benefit Automa having another map. Just thinking, if I played the Gunner, there's a chance that I would still have the highest, and I can get rid of one of their end voyage characters that's going to earn them some money. But I don't think I can risk that because they know that 2 bad things are out and they're probably going to play their best card. So why not? The Treasurer or the Gambler could be better later on. I'm going to keep the Gambler because that could end up being the highest card we get for the 3rd voyage as well. So I'm going to keep the Gambler. The Treasurer's going out, which, yeah, doesn't gain me much, but gains me something. So Pilferer is coming in with a perfect turn. And the bot, not 3 of everything. There are 2 bad things, so we look at the rightmost card. That's going to be a 24. So yes, definitely the right thing to do, I think. What are they going to get out of that? So Pilferer, sorry Pilferer, but we're not considering you. Daytime, Automa gains an amount of doubloons equal to the current day number. Ouch. That is going to be a big old 5. And at night, which is only going to happen once for them, they gain 4 and then lose 1 for every character in their ship, which is 4. Which I suppose that they counteract each other nicely, don't they? Well done, Automa Factory. Just realising game design as I go through. My Treasurer doesn't do me anything. Oh, the top man doesn't go yet. My Treasurer doesn't do anything until the end of the voyage, but then reverse order for Dusk. I'm first. I'm going to choose the map token, which is worth nothing. But nothing is better than -3, which the top man, you've got to have something. And the Pilferer gets the other one, but that just goes into the bag. Top man goes on the ship. Treasurer goes on my ship, which is actually looking a little bit empty. And it's another 3, isn't it? So nighttime abilities. Nightfall is upon us. So nothing from the Treasurer. The Armourer. 1 for every sabre and hook. I have 2 sabres, so that's going to be 2. And then Freed Prisoner, I have 3 cards that are above 20, so I get 3 for them. And when you gain 3 in one night from the Freed Prisoner, they are discarded, but that's fine. They're going to get discarded in a minute anyway. The Surgeon doesn't do anything. We're there, aren't we? Then in terms of the bot's nighttime ability, it's just what they've just gained. They gain 4 money, and then they lose 1 for every character on their ship, which happens to be 4. So they come out of that square. So it's end of voyage stuff. It's coming up. Right. What's it going to be? I'll work all of this out. I'm only about... I think I've watched the first hour of... I think your first playthrough of 1862. And... yeah. My mind's in pieces. But I'm sure eventually it'll get to the table. And yeah, I will be embarrassed for everyone to see. But it'll be fun in the process, won't it? Right. So, end of voyage. We need to do our end of voyagey things. What have I got? Nothing from the Surgeon. The Treasurer. 1 for every barrel, amulet, and chest. I have an amulet. I have a chest. That's going to be worth 2 doubloons. Nothing. And then, amulet is worth 3. The sabres are worth nothing on their own. They had their effect when they happened. The chest is worth 5, so 8 altogether. The map on its own is worth nothing. So another 8 is coming my way, which is still decent, isn't it? That's a lot of doubloons, I think. And all of my cards and tokens are removed. And then I can... So what have I got here? 38 plus 31 is 69, right? I think. If my maths are right. And we can put the Marty bucks back. Although, rather than going back in the racks where I keep reaching from them for, I've just got a big pile of poker chips in front of me. Hey, I'm new to this. Then, bot time. Automa time, of course, to give them their correct name. What are they going to do? So, no end of voyage. They gain 5. Let's just do that while I'm thinking about it. And then they gain 2. Automa gains an additional 2 for every sabre and hook. They did not get either of them, so they just get the 2 that the card gives them as a base. Nothing else on those cards. Then, chest gains you 5. Relic loses you 3. So they gain 2 from that. And then 3 map tokens is worth a tasty 12. So, they've got quite a few themselves, I think. I think they might have done... What did I have? 38 this round. They have ended up with 39. So, catches them up a tiny bit. So, what does that put them on? 64. There we go. So, 64 to 69 at the moment. And we want to get rid of all of our chips. All of our doubloons have been safely stashed away in the treasure chests. But I think just through virtue of getting the witch back in the first voyage and using the surgeon to get another card back, I'm going into this next round with so many options, which is great if you've got space to show off all of those cards. Right. So before each voyage, we need to populate, make sure we get a good clacky mix of things here. And what are we going to do? 1, 2, 3. Saber City over here. The armorers have gone from the game, though. We both played our armors. A nice run of relics here. Don't want to play low numbers in this voyage. Not many maps. Oh, actually, there is... We haven't got any of those gentle days like the first voyage where we had all 3 of them as map tokens. But hey, we'll see how that all goes. Pilferer, what are you doing out there? Gain the same 6 character cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I need to gain the same ones as well. I'll put them in some kind of order. We've got a 1 coming out, a brute, a thief, a captain, the governor. Where's my deck? Here it is. I'll grab my cards from there. I'll put Tangent Marty up as well. Let's just have a drink. Hey Christos, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. 14, 17, 23, 39, 40. Okay, I do not believe I've seen the governor or the captain in my previous games. But I said, you know, I've well, it's like a week or something. Right, so let's get these in order for both of us. I'm not going to have space to show off my my hand, am I? My hand of cards. But yeah, I don't usually get and use so many. I say so many things. I've only had 2 abilities. And really, when you're just playing on your own free time, you haven't just got a small central section of the table you're trying to cram everything in. Or maybe you have. There is space outside this this realm. It's just not all set up for that. So let's try and get some room for what I'm doing. We'll just have to shift things about as we go. Oh yeah, I want to get some things in order, don't I? I'm gonna try and make it. You know, I don't have as simple a flowchart as the bot does, but I just want to try and get some things in order, don't I? A lot of things I kept. I did play a lot of high-numbered cards last time, didn't I? But I still have my gunner. So if they play something brilliant, I've potentially got the gunner to get rid of it. But we'll look at all the details of what I've got as we go on. Ouch. And yes, do that. Gain doubloons. So I am only starting this time with 7 doubloons. And Automa is starting with their regular 10. Ouch. Okay. So, we're set up. It's time for... Oh, I need to turn Tangent Marty off. We're not tangenting, are we? Everything's in order. I've gained 7. Automa's gained 10 doubloons. We are ready. Day 1 has 2 sabers and a map on offer. So, it depends. Those sabers are probably... Well, they're not useless, are they? They're not as effective if somebody doesn't have something to discard, but they're worth 3 immediate coins if you can't discard anyone. So that's something. So, not particularly fussed about being first in this. So the scout, discard the scout, immediately choose a character from your hand and play it on the island according to its rank, shifting the other characters as needed. That is great, isn't it? I don't think something to waste. Although the scout would then be in my ship and my apprentice could copy my scout. Although the Automa does have both those cards as well. They might have slightly different abilities. The officer we saw before, if you have 12 or more, gain 2 reputation. Otherwise, gain doubloons until you have a total of 12. Decent, because I've only started with 7. So earn 5 doubloons is not too bad. Or do we want to... We could wait till later, but I'm at the top of reputation, which hasn't been that useful. Discard all Sabre and Hook tokens from the current day and gain 2 for each loot token discarded this way, but because you're playing a kind of low number, it's likely that you're not going to get a token then, isn't it? But that would be worth 4 coins. There's 2 Sabres to discard, which we've seen before. Copy a knight character. Not something to get out right now, I don't think. Although actually, probably not something to play at all. Again, she has ended up, like in the first voyage, she has ended up being the only nighttime ability that I have right now. The Brute. Discard the rightmost character on the island, which may be the Brute. That character's owner gets a reputation. Okay, so if they play a better thing, their character just isn't going out. They've got a Brute as well, though, of course. The Gunner we've seen before. Get rid of a character from a ship if it's mine. I gain a reputation. If it's someone else's, they lose a reputation. Thief. Take a loot token from an adjacent player's ship. If you do lose 2 reputation, I can kind of afford to lose 2 reputation. The Gambler we've seen before, lose 1 for each of your loot tokens, so perfect to get out first, and then gain 6 at the end of the voyage. Captain, advance to the rightmost space on the reputation track, lose a doubloon for each position gained this way. I'm already on the right. And then the Governor, discard all characters from your ship and gain a reputation for each character discarded in this way. Would be good to play towards the end because I'm already at the rightmost reputation, so every reputation I gain is a doubloon. So could potentially be worth 5. But if I've got... And I haven't actually, apart from the Gambler, like I don't care about getting the Witch back into my hand because there's no more voyages after this. So, as long as I don't play the Gambler, it would be a good strategy if I don't lose reputation some other way. I could earn 5 good money from the Governor. And while we're not out here, while we haven't got too much, I'm kind of leaning towards the Officer, just gaining me 5 money, and a Sabre would be worth 3. If I want 3 maps, though, 1, 2, 3. You want to start off now? Getting one. The Gambler, though, is a pretty high number to get out and wouldn't lose me any money right now. And if I don't end up playing the Governor, I will get the 6 money from their end ability. So I could just do that. So the other high characters' abilities aren't very beneficial. They could still play a higher numbered characters, but it would be bad. Say if they played their Governor right now, it wouldn't be very effective, would it? Let's do the Gambler. Let's see what happens. Pilferer comes in with an 8. I'm glad that they got all of their really high numbers out early on. The Bot, though, is coming in with... There are not 3 of the same. There are not 2 bad. There is not a good and a bad. There is a good and 2 average. Is there at least a good? Yes. So they play their highest card. So that means I get a... Yeah, the save's not wasted, is it? It's still 3 money. And I want to try and get the other maps away from them, though. Okay, daytime abilities. Gambler, lose a doubloon for each of your loot tokens. I don't have any yet. Governor, Automa discards all characters from her ship except those with an anchor. an end of voyage ability. She gains a reputation for each character discarded in this way. No effect, no rank change. So she just doesn't get anything. She just played that a bit too early. Gets the map, but at what cost? At what cost? Yeah, we're in Dusk now. And then Gambler, I get second choice. It's going to be a Saber, isn't it? I can't discard the lowest ranked nighttime character from my opponent's ship, so I gain 3 doubloons instead, which means I've caught up to the 10 that Automa has. And they, of course, go onto our ships. And the Pilferer just goes away and takes that loot with them. Day 2, so there's a relic to be avoided. There's a barrel, which is worth a reputation and a coin at the end. Reputation is a coin to me. So, yeah, Saber would be top priority for the Automa, unless one of their cards says differently. I don't think it does with the ones that we've got out here. I don't think. I think the captain is an orange kitty, right? Thief is it an owl? I was just staring at the different animals. You say, oh, Automa. I suppose, like, it is supposed to be Italian, isn't it? It's because it comes from your opponent in viticulture and stuff. That's I'm really just saying automatic. The word automatic, but cut off, aren't I, really? Automa. What am I babbling about? Right, I need to pick a card. Yeah, well, let's not go through them all again. So, I've gained money now. I wanted to play the officer, didn't I? But I wanted to try and get the map. I got greedy. I should have just played the officer and earned the 5 money. Now, the officer would just get me 3, 4, 5, 2 money, which isn't very nice, and I don't really want to play a low number. The thief is sitting right here, though, and there is a map token to be gained. Automa could still play a card that's better, but then I would get a barrel at least. Do I want the Saber? They still don't have anything to discard. Let's thief that map. Thief the map. And then Pilferer. 34? Ouch. But, let's see, we have 2 average and a bad. There is not 3 of the same. There are not 2 bad. There's not a good and a bad. There's not a good. So we go with the end. 3 from the end. They play a 17, which is the Brute. Oh dear. Discard the rightmost character on the island, which may be the Brute. That character's owner gains a reputation. So, although they don't own something, although they're not like an owner or a player or anything like that, this is the rightmost character. So, I've gotten away with that a little bit, I think. So, the Pilferer gains a reputation. So, yes, that's alright, isn't it? So the Brute could be discarding himself. The Thief, take a loot token from an adjacent player's ship. Thank you very much. I do lose 2 reputation for that, so it's not all great. But I'm okay with that. So, then when it comes to getting a token, I mean, the barrel, it would get me a reputation back, but the Saber is 3 money. Oh, but actually, now I've put myself in this position. If we did play the same number, and I let Automa gain a reputation, they would go ahead of me. So that's actually a bit tricky. So, if I take the Saber, whoever takes the Saber gets 3 money. Neither of us can discard a character with a Knight ability. If I get the barrel, Whoever gets the barrel gets a money, but the tiebreaker, which might not matter in very many scenarios. Even second place, though, isn't bad on any of these things, I don't think. I think I'm going to take the 3 money. Sabre. Sabre. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, it's 3 money right now because there's nothing I can discard. And then the thief comes into my ship and doesn't do anything. Automa gets to choose, and they will choose a barrel, which means the pilferer just gets left with the relic, which doesn't affect him, does it? So day 3. Okay, so there is a hook, which would be nice. Keep a character in your ship for the next thing, or gains 4. I probably want the map, right? If I get 3 map tokens, that's worth 12. And hook is the highest priority for Automa. So coming second wouldn't be a terrible thing. The gunner probably wouldn't help. I could gain myself a reputation by discarding a character of my own. I probably want to save the brute for when someone's going to play a better card than me. I do have 13 money now, so the officer would gain me 2 reputation. Do I really care, though? I could discard the hook token, but with a 14, I'm unlikely to do anything else, am I? Oh, they should have a... Yeah, they should have a reputation, shouldn't they? Because they gained the barrel. Playing... Yeah, maybe. See what everyone else has played and then see what I want to play. Because maybe they're going to play a card I do want to discard. And then the scout's going to be on my ship and could potentially be copied. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Pilferer is a 6. And the bot, let's see, we have 2 good and a bad. So not all 3 the same. Not too bad. At least 1 good and 1 bad, yes. So they play the 3rd from the right. 1, 2, 3. They play the witch. Which actually, I don't think I really might. So this is going to be a nighttime ability. They copy the nighttime ability of any other character on her ship, choosing the lowest ranked character. If after doing this, she has no more doubloons than she had before, or if there was no one she could copy, she gains a doubloon. So if I put the brute out, I wouldn't be able to get rid of anyone, because the brute would then be the highest and would just discard himself. It would gain me a reputation, but I actually wouldn't get a card then, would I? So if I played the bodyguard and discarded the hook token, I would be in second place, so they would take the map and I would get left with the relic. The witch is no good, really. The gunner is no good because I would want to get rid of the witch and they wouldn't be on the ship yet. Oh dear, so what am I going to play? I could just do the officer and gain 2 reputation. I have 13 doubloons, so that's all it would do. Or I just play, like, the captain. I would lose 3 doubloons and I would be at the end of reputation. It's just kind of playing a pretty big card, isn't it, to not really do anything I'm that bothered about. I probably want to wait to discard all of my characters with the governor. Bit of a weird situation to be in. Because, yeah, I don't really mind being second because they're going to take the hook. That's their priority. I could use the daytime ability of a character in my ship. I could steal their barrel. But it's worth 1 money, isn't it? What's the point of that? So I think I'll swap the scout for the officer. and shifting other characters as needed. So we go on then with the abilities, right? So if I have 12 or more doubloons, which I do, gain 2 reputation. So I am back on top, and then the witch isn't going to do anything right now. They choose, their priority gives them the hook, which is nothing just yet. I can have the map, which gives me 2 maps. Hey, Maelstrom. Okay, let's. I didn't realize this word required focus, but apparently it does. Maelstrom, right? Maelstrom. I got there in the end. Like the Sparks Brothers. Maelstrom. Right. Welcome aboard, anyway. Is what I was trying to say before I got lost in the English language. So they get that. The witch goes on their ship and is going to gain them a doubloon, unfortunately, for now. So yeah, nighttime. Someone's actually doing something at night. The witch can't copy anyone else, and when they can't copy anyone else, for the Automa, that gains them a doubloon. So it's 11 to 13, a bit of a low scoring voyage, the third one. Second one was probably the best, wasn't it? In terms of amount gained, this is probably for amount of cards of each other's that we've gotten rid of. Okay. We don't want the relic. We, of course, want the chest most of all. So I could just use the apprentice and copy the officer, but why would I want that? That would make me last, wouldn't it? I want to be last on a day when it doesn't really matter. I want to be first, ideally, here. And I could, of course, captain, spend a doubloon to get to the rightmost reputation, and then I'm at the right ready for the governor. I could use the gunner and get rid of their witch, but it's only gaining them 1 a night, and that does give them a reputation. I wish I'd saved the scout now, because scout then brute would be quite nice. Because if the brute discards the brute, then I get a reputation, but I don't get a loot token. There's always that risk. Actually, it's probably worth saving till next time, right? Although they don't know that all 3 things are good. The category for them is just all 3 things are the same. You can never know what they're going to play. I want that treasure chest. Captain. Boom. Pilferer comes in with a 9. That's just not going to cut it, mate. And then, so we have a good, an average, and a bad. So, no, there is a good and a bad. So the first cannon, which is going to be the Scout. Which means, discard the Scout, take Automa's highest ranked character, and place it onto the island according to its rank, shifting other characters as needed. Well, that is a very neat trick, Automa. But unfortunately for you, I am ahead on reputation, so I am going to stay in the lead with my captain. Captain, if Automa's reputation marker is on any space to the left of yours, she advances to the rightmost space on the track. Wow, that's a big jump. And doesn't pay for each space. She just loses 2. So she's going to have 9 now. Oh, you need me to make change? Being awkward. Okay. So in the future, she's going to go first. So she's cost me some money, basically. Because now I advance to the rightmost space, which is 1 more space away. So I lose 2 doubloons instead of 1. But I'm the most reputable again. And then in terms of loot tokens, I will take the chest. Oh no, they've got a thief as well, haven't they? Oh, they might steal this chest from me. Right. Chest. And then they would take the amulet, and the pilferer gets the gravy. Oh no, they might not play the thief. We just don't know. Next time there are 3 good things coming up. Who's going to get what? Oh no. Right. So, Governor, we could save till last. Although the Governor's losing me money. Because I have to discard all of my characters. And at the moment, the Gambler's gaining me 6. So discarding everyone with the Governor to gain 5 makes no sense. Now, yeah, as insurance, I could play the Brute. If they play the Thief, the Brute just discards the Thief. But there is always the risk. If we look at the Automa's hand, they've only got one card that's higher than the Brute. I should have just used it to begin with, probably. They've only got one card that's higher. So if they don't play the Thief, and the Pilferer doesn't play a card that's higher than 17, the Brute itself gets discarded. I get a reputation, but I don't get my third map token, which cuts me out of 5 money, basically. Set of 2 is worth 7, set of 3 is worth 12. I could just play the Gunner. And, oh, we didn't do the nighttime phase. They should have gained a money from their Witch that isn't getting to copy anyone. The Gunner is only stopping them gaining 1 at a time. I could do the Bodyguard, discard the Hook token, gain 2 money, at the risk of not getting the map. Because if the Pilferer plays more than me, I'm going to risk it. Bodyguard time. So, Pilferer is playing 13, brilliant. And Bot, all 3 are the same, so they play the second one along. Oh, fantastic. Bot is not getting, Automa, I do apologise, is not getting anything. Well, let's see what their cards do first. So, daytime. If Automa has 12 or more doubloons, they do, gains 2 reputation. That's still okay, that's okay, that's okay. It's just a little airborne. 1, and then their second reputation would be replaced by a doubloon. Which, hey, I need one of those, like croupier things for sweeping the chips everywhere. Otherwise, yes, yeah. Okay, so we've done all of that. The Bodyguard, discard all Saber and Hook tokens from the current day, gaining 2 doubloons for each that was discarded. So actually, this has come up trumps for me, because I get the map, my third map token, the Pilferer takes that one away, and I think for the first round of the game, someone's ended up with nothing. So, Pilferer and Officer. Yeah, okay, so the last day of the game, there are amulets and barrels on offer. I feel like, so at the moment, 13 doubloons to 11. Our totals at the moment are 69 to 64. So I'm 5 in the lead, and I've got 2 more in this round right now. I feel like the thing to do, especially since their tokens as well are rubbish, because I stole one. So, I feel like the thing to do here is the Brute. If they play the Thief, it cancels the Thief, and I get an amulet. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, the Brute discards itself. They didn't play a card that steals my chest, which is worth 5, a 10-point swing. And if I discard myself, I don't get an amulet, which is only worth 3 anyway. Are you with me? I feel like that's the best thing to do. Just insurance. Because I'm already getting 6 from the Gambler. I don't need to play the Governor. There isn't a token that's so lucrative I desperately want it. It's 3 money, a reputation and a money. There's no one on their ship I particularly want to get rid of. Night phase, they need to gain a doubloon, don't they? I think the Brute has to go out as insurance. And I also have to hope, though, if they do play the Thief and the Pilferer plays a higher number, then I don't discard the thief. So it's not set in stone yet. Pilferer, 7. Bot, we're looking at 3 averages. Well, thanks for joining us, Chuck. Hope you do well in Tucana. Great game. 3 average things. Oh, so that's 4. That's the top thing, isn't it? All the same category. The 4th cannon along, which... Brilliant. I'm really glad now. I was saying earlier, I should have played it at the beginning. No. This was the perfect time to play it. Daytime. Discard the rightmost character on the island. That character's character... What? No, that character's owner. That character's character. They get a doubloon for instead of a reputation because they're already on the right-hand side. But look at what they don't get to do. They lose a reputation. They steal a chest off me. And then it would have been a map or an amulet or a barrel. If you don't have any, they gain 2 money. So I've prevented them from getting a loot and a 10-point swing. Thanks to... I'm not going to say luck. I'm going to say really good planning. So, yeah, that's all we need to know. They get a reputation, they had their money, but their card doesn't happen. So, Dusk, I will take an amulet, I suppose. I don't think being in the lead there matters. And really, like, I'm not playing another card, so... None of this really matters. We can put the doubloons and everything out there. The Pilferer takes an amulet, and this just stays here. And so, gets discarded, I guess. So, let's make sure. Yeah, it's just we do the things the same, and then we work out who has the most. So, in the final night phase, they gain another money. Because of their witch that doesn't get to copy any other nighttime abilities. Unfortunate game for the witch, didn't really get to do anything. End of voyage abilities, none. End of voyage earnings from here. The amulet is worth 3. The hook is worth 4 because Automa always chooses the 4. And the barrel is worth 1. And if I was adding that up in my head as I was going, I would be able to tell you already that is 8 for Automa, which, to be honest, I think they've wrecked this. They have got 22, putting them on 85. So they were already behind. I think I've only got to earn like 19, which, spoilers, I've scored 19. So cards in my hand still don't matter now. We can actually free up the table, can't we? Abilities for the end of the voyage, I think it's just the Gambler. So, gain 6. Tokens. A set of 3 map tiles is worth 12. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was trying to get 15. A chest is worth 5. Sabres aren't worth anything at the end. They were worth it when you took them. And the amulet is worth 3, which I think it doesn't quite equate to us getting the 50s out. But 10, 20, 39. So what does that put me on? 108, I think. Oh, so set your score dial to 99 and use doubloons to record your additional wealth. I think like that was a little bit of planning and a little bit of luck in that last round that it just worked out that I could get rid of the one thing that could have swung the game. What would they would have had an amulet that would have been 3 more. So 88. And I would have lost a chest and they would have gained it. So 93. I still would have had 103, I think. I think I still would have been okay, but hey, it would have been even closer, wouldn't it? But there we go. That is on, no, not beginner, normal difficulty, it's called, right? Scroll to the difficulty table. As I said, you can start with more money to make it easier for you, and you can give the Automa more money to make it harder. So pirate difficulty is normal, where everybody just started even. But yeah, scallywag if you start with 10, landlubber if you start with 20, captain if the Automa starts with 8, swashbuckler if you let the Automa start with 20, and R if you let the Automa start with 34. So I didn't decide that at the start, so we'll say pirate difficulty, normal difficulty. We've come up on top, which is always a good result, isn't it? Not always the way in these solo videos, but hey, I think, yeah, I've taken my sweet time with this, haven't I? But I think, yeah, it is like, it's not a filler game. It's like a 45-minute kind of game, right? In its multiplayer form. I don't think it depends as much on the players. There's a bit more to resolve, isn't there, with more players? I'm probably talking rubbish there. But yeah, it's definitely more puzzly and thinky. As someone said earlier, like the 2-player game will be as well. That you have the extra midshipman, and depending on where you put cards, is my angle gonna work this out? It goes like in the middle of the island like this. So if your character is the only one in a 2-player game, there's only going to be those cards played, isn't there? If your character is the only character ranked 20 or less, you must place it here. If a character is directly to the left of the midshipman, that character's opponent removes a loot token from the current day. So we'll take away the thing that's best for you. Oh, what's going off camera has broken its focus. Oh, what a great webcam. There we go, I'm back. Yeah, so there's some more brinksmanship. There's a bit more interaction, a bit more duplicity to go on in the... Well, I wouldn't say more duplicity. There is extra opportunity for duplicity in a player count where there would be fewer cards and fewer chances to do that kind of thing. But yeah, the solo game is a lot more... yeah, you can't puzzle everything out. You don't know what they're going to play, but you've got an idea. As you play the game on, you will get more of an idea of what their particular cards do, the differences and things, the allowances they've been made to be able to compete with you. But yeah, as with, I don't really think there's anything else. I don't think I have changed my tune from any Automa Factory game. That they just get solo, really, don't they? So... yeah, it works beautifully well. As I said earlier, it's one of the ones where you don't really need to know very much, right? You've got to have make sure you keep their hands and their ship area separate, and yours as well. But really, it's a very simple flowchart, isn't it? What are the loot tokens available this round? Play that card, then read on the card what it does, and the rule books themselves. I'm going to go fuzzy again, aren't I? Okay, we know now, if I go off camera, I'm going to go fuzzy. But the rulebooks themselves, they're this size. I know you don't know how big they... Well, you know how... there's my hand for scale. I should get Marty for scale. Little rulebooks, 8 pages long, and that's including, that's a little reference, of which, the before and after voyage is on the board. You don't really need that. That's a note of what's changed since the last time. The rules themselves, you don't need to know a lot here. There's not a lot of overhead. A lot of it is in the abilities on the cards you happen to draw in your particular rounds, because in the multiplayer game, it's going to work in a similar way. You get 6, and then everyone gets those same 6 cards to work with, and your hands will build up over time, depending on which cards you've kept, which abilities might let you draw more cards. But yeah, it's... I do have to kind of be hypothetical, don't I? With yeah, as I said, we did, in the mists of time long ago, we played a game of Libertalia. I don't think we enjoyed it. But I'm talking like 6-7 years ago we played it. Probably just to make up the numbers. It's probably like at the gaming group. Couldn't get in the other game, so like, I guess we're playing Libertalia with everybody then. But yeah, it's interaction and attacking each other is not our thing, and never will be really in any way. But that's why I'm glad that the solo mode exists, because I would never be bothered about playing a new edition of Libertalia just in the multiplayer sense, whereas now it's got a pretty fantastic, puzzly Automa Factory mode. I get to see, I get an idea of how it might work with more people in an alternate reality. Tom might enjoy discarding people out of your boats and stuff. But hey, solo Tom, don't mind doing it to an Automa. But hey, I think this technically this went all right, didn't it? On the technical side, I'm glad, because all of this room got taken apart and put back together again with different things and in a different place. Not geographically, just in terms of the room. We've sorted around and stuff. So I'm glad it all worked, because up until half an hour before the stream started, it didn't work. I don't know why, because the computer surely doesn't know that it's been moved. But apparently it did. Hey, thank you for joining me, though, for a bit of an early look at Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. Thanks, of course, to Jamie at Stonemaier Games for sending us one early and asking if I'd like to check it out, because, hey, I enjoyed... I don't know why I've gone all kind of paused and... there's these hiatuses in my speech all of a sudden. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. You can pre-order this if you would like to give it a go. If you would like to pre-order the new version for yourself, it's going up on pre-order on Stonemaier on the 2nd of March, so a couple of weeks' time. And if you're waiting for it to come into the shops, that's going to be around the end of April, I believe. But for now, I'm going to go away, cross my fingers that this all stays working tomorrow, because I will be back at the same time. I'm back at 3 p.m. GMT to play the next most popular game in this month's Patreon poll, which is Obsession Upstairs Downstairs. We did the base game last month. Rach and I played it before that and really enjoyed it. Loved the solo mode in the stream. Haven't really looked at what's in the expansion yet. I know there are new staff members and things, but hey, I'm looking forward to seeing how it changes. I think there's a slightly different solo mode included in there. It's going to be great, isn't it? Yeah, so join me for Obsession if you would like to. We'll be here on Friday. Rach will join me for some Eon's End. Everything's made possible thanks to patreon.com/slickerdrips. Well, the people that are on Patreon. The website facilitates that. But thank you, all of the patrons that are here, that are watching later, that have helped make all of this happen. And yeah, every little helps to keeping all of this going and doing more of it and doing it in a better way, because it can always be better, right? Thank you everyone for being here, and I will see you tomorrow around this time. I'm just going around in circles saying the same things now. I will genuinely press the credits button. Bye everyone. Say bye, Marty. Doesn't even flinch at his name being mentioned. Bye.